Hey folks, welcome to the Flipside. I'm Sam, and normally I have my buddy JT here with me, but he wasn't able to make it this week, so we'll miss him. But I'm going to give you my top 5 games from before the year 2000. So we're talking about games that are 26 years old or older. And if you haven't seen it already, I did do my bottom 5, the basically numbers 10 through 6 of this list. And that's over on the Dice Tower. You can go down to the description below and find a link that'll take you over there. Watch this first and then go over there. I probably won't give any spoilers. I'll try not to. But I will appreciate you being here. Now, a couple of caveats here. I did try to stay away from games that had newer editions that improved upon the system in some way, shape, or form. Reprintings, in my opinion, are okay. These are the years that they were originally released into the populace. So keep that in mind. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get to my top 5 games from before the year 2000. All right, my number 5 is a great bidding game that I still have in my collection, and I still like to play this one every once in a while, and that is a game called For Sale. You're going to be basically getting properties that you're going to be drafting, and you're going to be purchasing those and drafting those properties with a certain amount of money. Everybody starts with the same amount of money, and how much you bid on one card will determine how much you're going to be able to bid on a different property later on, and so forth and so on. And if you run out of money, well, you're just going to be taking the slim pickings that's left after everybody has purchased what they want to buy. And then the second round of the game, you're going to be taking those properties that you've gained, and they all have a value on them from 1 to 30, and you're going to be using those cards as bidding for different amounts of money, checks that have an amount of money on them, because you're going to be selling those properties for that amount of money. So the higher the value that's on the card, the higher the bid for whatever checks are out there on the table, and you'll be able to pick in value order. And basically at the end of the game, whoever has the most money left, whether it's money left over that you didn't use for bidding on the properties, or money that you got from the checks that you sold those properties for, all of that is added together. Whoever has the most money is the winner. It's really a fast game. It plays within about 20 to 30 minutes, and it's one of those games that just is very fun every time it hits the table. So that's my number 5, For Sale from 1997. My number 4 hails from the year 1999, and it really has some staying power. It just got a reprint, kind of a deluxeified reprint by 25th Century Games here just a couple years ago. But this one's called Raw. This is a neat set collection auctioning game, and with a really neat theme. The new deluxeified edition is really pretty, but I just have really enjoyed this game over the years. Didn't really strike me too well when I was first introduced to it, but it has basically grown on me since then, and it's one that I have in my collection from that new reprint that 25th Century did, and it's just a great design, and it's a very fun game by Reiner Knizia. He is one of the more prolific designers in the industry. So that's my number 4, Raw. My number 3 is one of the 2 versions of Catan that I really do enjoy. I kind of burned myself out on regular Catan, or Catan, however you pronounce it. This is one of the ones that I've always really kind of enjoyed coming back to, although I don't own it anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore, and that is the Starfarers of Catan. This one was cool for me because of the space, the science fiction theme that was kind of wrapped around it, and how you could interact with the different races as you flew through the universe and colonize these different planets that are out there. I really enjoyed a lot of the different mechanisms that were different from the original game, but you still have the same basic idea going there. And I just feel like this was one of the better versions of Catan. Of course, not one of the more popular ones because people usually gravitate towards the original, and that's fine and dandy. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But this one and the Catan Geographies Germany are my two favorite ways to play Catan. If I'm going to play Catan, it's probably going to be one of those two different ways. And so this one came out 1999. I really enjoyed it. There were some, difficulties with some of the components, but with things breaking and all of that kind of stuff. But it did get a reprint, and the component quality was fixed in that reprint as well. So take that for what it's worth. But this is a really fun game, in my opinion. Number 3, The Starfarers of Catan. My number 2 is a game that I have not played in a very long time, but I do remember really enjoying this game, and it's called Fortress America. So basically, it's a game where one person takes on the role of America with its military forces, and the other players take on different countries that are invading America. And basically, the idea is that America's trying to hold everybody off for a certain number of rounds, and if they do that, they win. And then everybody else is trying to basically take over different parts. And if by a certain point in time, again, I'm really fuzzy on the rules, but from what I remember, by a certain point in time, whoever has the most is going to be the winner. But I really enjoyed that aspect of that one versus all, something that I have had other games on this list about, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was a neat take, and one that I wish I still owned it. That's basically how I have it. I'm pretty sure I would try to get this to the table, at least infrequently if I still owned it, but I just don't. I know that I can probably find a copy of it because it did get, like some of these other ones, it did get a reprint. But it's all the way from 1986, y'all. This has been a great game for quite some time. So that's my number 2, Fortress America. And my number 1 hails from the year 1997. This is a neat little steamboat racing game called Mississippi Queen. And so basically what you're trying to do is it had a modular board set up. There were different tracks that you could do. The way that the river would flow would change, basically. You would shuffle up the different tiles that make up the river, and whenever somebody gets to the edge of one, they're going to pull over that, and it's going to determine how the river flows. And you're basically trying to use the coal in your steamboat. Maybe not coal. I don't know. I don't know what you're using. I think it's coal because I remember it's a little black dial. And you're regulating your speed, and you're using coal to regulate your speed, and it determines how fast you can move down the river. But you're also trying to pick up passengers as you're going through that race. So that dichotomy of racing but also having to stop at certain points to pick up passengers, that was a fun thing for me. And I loved how the way that the river would flow changed from every game. So I just thought this was a really fun game. And this also got a reprint. And I don't think they changed much about the game, but they just refurbished some of the different components, made them a little bit more modern. But this was a really, really fun game. And again, this is one that I don't own. My top 2 are actually my top 3. Wow. My top 3 are games that I just don't own, but I really remember playing them and having a great time with them. So that's my number 1, though. Mississippi Queen hails from 1997. So that's it for my top 5. I want to thank you for joining me. I certainly appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. And remember that go down to the description below and go check out my bottom 5 over on the Dice Tower and give them some love as well. We thank you for your time. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.